Yeah, Mangano.
Thanks. So you want me to be mean, is what you're saying? Gotcha, okay. There's Waldo. That's all I got. I'm sorry. Good to see you guys. Good to be here. Fun times at Camp Wannapee. Wannapee? Kinda wanna. Okay, fun, cool. You know, I actually had to have a rubber mattress growing up. It wasn't from the peeing thing, though. Too many nocturnal emissions, man. At least that's what I would brag about. I don't know if no one believed it. This is cool. It's a cool place. Nice. I'm having fun. I'm like Juan. I'm also unemployed, so give it up for me. Thank you. It's cool, though, because like I had one of those jobs. You guys ever have one of those jobs where you're like secretly rooting for a death in the family? Just anything that'll qualify as bereavement, you know? Maybe like a creepy uncle, a shitty cousin, anything, man. I had one of those jobs. I remember I got a call from my dad. I was at work. It was like 2 in the afternoon. He knew I was at work. I was like, Grammy? Pop up. And then my dad's like, how do I print an email? I'm like, what the fuck? Hang up. It was a bad job. It wasn't the worst job I ever had. Worst job I ever had, I was a front desk manager at a hotel. Don't do it. I see some of you guys like, oh, I could do it. Don't do it. Just don't. It was a terrible job. Like, you guys see those Karen videos? That was just like a 10 times a day thing for me. 10 times a day people come down with problems. I remember one time I checked this woman in, and she came right back down to the lobby, which is a bad sign. And she was carrying a pillow, even worse. And she brings me the pillow. She goes, this is disgusting. And I was like, oh, well, it's not the preferred thread count. And she goes, no, not the thread count. This. I was like, what? She's like, this. There's cum on my pillow. And I had to apologize. I was like, oh, no, you can't talk normal in hospital. You have to have a high-pitched voice. Like, oh, no, that's not cum. Can't say cum. Oh, no, that's not ejaculate. It's cleaning supply. And then I went to rub it in for some reason. And that's one of those things, when you touch it, you know. That was a terrible job. I worked at the Parker House in downtown Boston, very historic property. For those who don't know, opened in 1855, never closed. Little history about it. JFK proposed to Jackie O there. Malcolm X was a busboy, and Ho Chi Minh worked in the bakery. You guys are like, cool, why is this guy talking about it? I didn't know who Ho Chi Minh was. I didn't. And when the HR guy was giving me like the orientation and the tour, we were in the bakery when he brought up Ho Chi Minh. And what I heard was, Ho Chi Minh works here? And then he turned to an older Asian male who worked in the bakery and went, right? And the dude just kind of nodded. So for the next year, I'm calling this dude Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi for short. I'm like, yo, Ho Chi, can you whip up some of that famous Boston cream pie for me, man? I need Parker House rolls stat. Let's go, Ho Chi. I knew something was up because people would bring it up all the time at check-in. They'd ask about him. I'm like, yo, like, it can't be that important. He works here now. Like, give up the 15 minutes of fame, Ho Chi. And people would always ask because, like, we had, like, this, like, marble table in the bakery that he, worked at. And people were like, oh, so is the marble table there? I'm like, yeah, we've got his table. We've got his whisk. We've got his oven. We've got it all. But, like, this one family traveled all the way from Vietnam to see it. And, like, can we go see it? I was like, oh, no, it's pretty back of the house. Like, you got to go down multiple flights of stairs. I can't take you there. And then they started crying. I was like, what? So I Googled it. Turned out he, like, freed Vietnam and died in, like, 1969. So I had to apologize to this dude I was calling Ho Chi Minh. Turns out his name was David. Yeah, David took it pretty well. He didn't speak English. He was cool. I'll tell you, though, I got to apologize to the guy called Malcolm X because he did not take it nearly as well. Yeah, the hotel sucked. That one was tough because it was super old, like I just said, and with that comes like ghost stories, super haunted. It was a haunted hotel, and I would just blame the ghosts for like everything. Like, when these Karens would come down, because like the ghost stories were so dumb. It'd be like, oh, on the 3rd floor, you might hear a woman's voice in the wee hours of the night. Ooh. On the 10th floor, you might hear a baby cry. Room 303, the most haunted room. You might have someone come to your room in the middle of the night and jiggle the door and go, wrong room. Ooh. So that's when I realized, like, these aren't ghost stories. These are just hotels that have thin walls and super old. So, like, anytime these Karens would come Karening, I would just blame the ghosts. I'd be like, oh, no. We didn't charge you for Wi-Fi. It was the ghost. I was like, no. Your room doesn't smell like cigarettes. That's the ghost of Seamus the bellman, the chain-smoking bellman. He visited you in the middle of the night. I was like, no, we didn't charge you $30 for macadamia nuts. That's the ghost of the peanut allergy kid. He didn't learn his lesson. Hindsight, guys, I should have blamed the cum on the pill. I was like, no, that's not cum, that's ectoplasm. The Ghostbusters are here. I've been Sam. Thank you, guys.